Ever get that feeling like you just really want to understand something? You know, like those aha moments?
Yeah.
Where it all just kind of clicks.
Absolutely.
But like, we're all so busy.
Right.
Wading through tons of info just isn't really an option.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why we're here.
Exactly.
So today we're going to look at something really fascinating.
Okay.
It's about the sources of transformation.
Interesting.
The kind that aren't always obvious,
Yeah.
It's about the stuff that happens
Underneath.
yeah, in the unseen, in the unformed, like quiet rumblings beneath the surface.
I love it.
It's so easy to focus on like the progress we can see.
Right. The tangible things.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the clear milestones, the breakthroughs.
Yeah.
But our source material today,
Okay.
it's Kirsi Mekkonen's book,
Oh, interesting.
Mirrors of the Womb of Transformation in the Field of Becoming.
Wow. What a title.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And it really articulates this beautifully.
Okay. So what's it say?
The groundwork for those breakthroughs.
Mm-hmm.
Often it happens in the subtle stuff.
Right.
Like those less defined aspects of ourselves.
Makes sense.
And our experiences, too.
Yeah.
We're not talking abstract philosophy here.
Okay, good.
This goes deep, into how we grow, what it means to be authentic, and how we integrate those parts of ourselves that operate outside our awareness.
I like how you put that.
So think of this as a shortcut.
Oh, okay.
To grasp those tricky parts of yourself, you know your own inner landscape.
Yeah.
You might even gain some insights
Ooh, exciting.
into why you react to the world the way you do.
Yeah.
We're going to be exploring some pretty powerful concepts.
Right, like what?
Like the mother wound, the trauma of authenticity, transference,
Okay.
and even Jung's ideas about anima and animus.
A lot to unpack there.
We'll get to it all. Don't worry.
I'm ready.
The source material also connects the mother wound to the father's womb.
Oh, interesting.
It suggests they have a shared origin in the suppression of feeling. So this deep dive is going to give you a unique perspective.
Okay, I like that.
It's a chance to look at your own growth and the patterns you see in the world, all through a different lens.
Sounds good.
It's about getting that deeper understanding of those psychological patterns without getting bogged down in academic jargon.
Okay, awesome.
So Mekkonen's main idea, right? It's that the most profound truths, the ones that really change things for us, they don't always come from what we think of as light and shadow.
So where do they come from?
She says transformation can come from what we can't see.
The unseen.
Yes?
No.
The unknown, the potential within us.
Interesting.
It flips the script,
On needing to understand everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like we need to have it all figured out to move forward. But it's not about that.
It's not.
No. It's about questioning our certainty.
Right.
Our knowing.
Letting go a little.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We never have the full picture.
That's true.
There's always more to discover.
For sure.
We have to be humble and open
Open to what?
to being present, letting go of those rigid boundaries,
Right.
the ones that might hold us back
For what?
from expressing ourselves authentically.
Oh, I see.
And that brings us to the mother wound.
Right.
The source connects this to what it calls the father's womb
Oh, interesting.
and suggests they both come from suppressing feelings.
Interesting. Could you explain the mother wound a little more?
Sure, it's not about blaming mothers.
Okay, good.
It's about an early experience,
Yeah.
like not feeling truly seen and held in our entirety, when our vulnerability, that sense of being small or incomplete maybe,
Yeah.
if that's met with negativity
Right.
or dismissal.
Instead of acceptance.
Yes, instead of gentle understanding.
Makes sense.
It can lead us to shut down.
Emotionally.
Yes.
Wow.
And we might grow up struggling to recognize our emotion.
Our own emotion.
Yeah, our own.
That's tough.
And even harder to recognize other people's.
Oh, wow.
So vulnerability becomes scary.
Yeah, I get that.
So for you, the listener, the key takeaway
Okay.
is to think about any deep feelings of inadequacy you have. Could those come from those early experiences?
Not being seen.
Yes.
Wow.
Recognizing that,
Yeah.
that could be the first step to self-compassion.
I think you're right.
It's like if your early environment taught you
Okay.
that some feelings were bad or wrong,
Right.
you might learn to just suppress them.
Makes sense.
Not just outwardly, but internally.
Oh, wow.
Kind of shield yourself from your own emotions.
Interesting.
And the source emphasizes this idea of recognition.
Recognition.
Yeah.
What's that?
It means consciously seeing yourself, and others.
Okay.
It's crucial for healing those early experiences.
I see.
So if you didn't have that consistent experience of being seen early on in those years when you were forming, it becomes harder to see others.
As an adult.
Exactly. Right. With empathy and understanding.
Yeah.
And the source says this cycle tends to repeat.
Oh, no.
Until we bring conscious awareness to it.
So we had to break the cycle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And until we integrate those underlying experiences.
Into our understanding.
Yes, exactly. And this lack of being seen early on can lead to what Makanin calls the trauma of authenticity.
That's a powerful phrase.
It is, isn't it?
What does it mean?
It's when our genuine expression as young people is met with disapproval or dismissal.
Ouch.
Or it's seen as negative somehow.
Right.
And that makes us believe that our true selves are flawed or incomplete.
Just for being ourselves.
Yeah.
That's sad.
As adults, this can show up in our relationships.
How so?
We struggle to express our needs.
That makes sense.
And our desires.
Right.
Because if we haven't had that experience
of being validated.
Yes, validated in our vulnerability. It's tough to then communicate those needs openly.
To others.
Yes, to others.
I could see that.
So the mother wound, it leads to the trauma of authenticity.
Because we're afraid.
Exactly. We're afraid to express ourselves because we think we won't be accepted.
Right. Because of those early experiences.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's like we hide parts of ourselves.
Just to fit in.
Yeah, to belong.
That's understandable. But
it comes at a cost to our self-integrity and our ability to connect.
With other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. And the source says the trauma of transference is always there.
Transference?
You know that term you hear about in therapy sometimes? Oh, yeah. Oh, but it might be new for some people.
Right.
So what does it mean?
What's the main idea?
Transference is when we redirect feelings.
Oh, okay.
Unconsciously.
From
someone in our past.
Okay.
To someone in the present.
Like we're mixing them up.
Yeah, sort of. It's often someone important from our past.
Right.
And the source says this is happening all the time.
Really?
Yeah, like an undercurrent in our relationships.
Wow.
To understand these unconscious patterns, these karmic patterns that keep repeating.
Yeah.
We need two things.
What are they?
First, we have to actually experience life.
Okay.
And our interactions.
Right.
But then we also have to reflect.
Think about them.
Yes.
Consciously reflecting.
To understand what's happening.
Yes.
Underneath.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The dynamics and motivations.
I see.
So for those who are new to this term transference, think about it like this.
Have you ever had a really strong reaction to someone you just met?
Yeah, I think so.
Sometimes that reaction isn't really about them.
Oh, interesting.
It's about someone from your past.
Who they remind you of.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's not enough to just live on autopilot.
Right.
We have to look back.
Like review the footage.
Exactly.
To understand what was really going on.
Yeah, beneath the surface.
Yeah.
Both in our interactions and in our reactions.
Oh, okay.
And the source talks about developing a witness.
A witness?
Yeah, within ourselves.
What does that mean?
It means being able to observe our thoughts or feelings.
Oh, okay.
And our patterns without judging them.
Right.
Or getting swept away.
So just observing.
Yeah, like an impartial observer.
Makes sense.
And that lets us engage more consciously.
With ourselves.
And with others.
Cool.
Practices like mindfulness can help.
Oh, right.
Or journaling.
Yeah.
Those can help you cultivate that inner witness.
I'll have to try that.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit.
Okay.
The source brings in Jung's theory of anima and animus.
I've heard of those.
To explain gender dynamics.
Right.
For those who aren't familiar.
Yeah.
The anima is the unconscious feminine in men.
Okay.
And the animus is the unconscious masculine in women.
Right, okay.
And here's the paradox.
Yeah.
What's hidden in one gender's unconscious is often seen in what we expect from the other gender.
Oh, wow.
That's what leads to projections.
Right, when we put our stuff onto others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it gets even more complicated.
How so?
In a patriarchal system.
Right.
Where those ideas about masculine and feminine are so fixed.
And limiting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The source uses Erica Vickman as an example.
Erica Vickman.
You know, from Eurovision.
Oh, right, right.
She had that performance, remember?
Yeah, vaguely.
It was seen as courageous and sexy.
Okay.
And some men said she was pushing her sexuality on men. Yeah.
What's the source saying about that?
It's saying that our strong reactions to others, especially about gender expression, they tell us more about ourselves
than the other person.
Exactly.
Wow.
In this case, those men might be projecting their unintegrated anima.
Oh, I see.
Instead of seeing her as a complex person, expressing herself
they see her
as a sexual object.
Right.
The source actually says that's a later stage of anima projection.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after more primal archetypes like the Mother or the Virgin Mary.
Huh, interesting.
It makes you think about entitlement.
Yeah.
And how some men treat women based on those projections.
Without even realizing it.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad.
They're not seeing women as whole people.
Or equal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the source says women internalize these projections too.
Oh, right, because
we grew up in the same system.
Exactly.
There's pressure on women to conform.
To what?
To not be seen as ugly or fat or angry.
Or opinionated.
Right. It's a narrow set of expectations.
Very narrow.
Yeah.
And women who haven't integrated their animus, their masculine side, they might play into this too.
How so?
Maybe by feeling like they have to embody a male fantasy.
To be accepted.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or to push back against the suppression of their feminine expression.
That makes sense.
Erica said she wanted to be authentic. And she called for equality.
Okay.
She compared her nakedness to that of male performers.
Interesting.
That's an illustration of this struggle.
Against suppression.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the source says this whole dynamic.
The fight for your right thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Thanks.
It's still operating at a distance.
From what?
From true integration.
Masculine and feminine.
Yes.
Within ourselves.
Yeah.
What's missing then?
We're not fully aware of the projection-introjection dynamic.
What's that?
It's how we project our unconscious stuff onto others.
And then we internalize their reactions.
Which reinforces our beliefs.
Exactly.
Right.
Even with good intentions, like Erica's.
Yeah.
Those unconscious patterns are still there.
So it's deeper than just our intentions.
Yes. The source questions whether women need to be sexualized.
Okay.
To feel empowered. Especially with the history of objectification.
Right.
And then the source brings up historical conditioning.
Oh, interesting.
It uses the Victorian era as an example.
Okay.
There was so much control over women's bodies then.
Yeah.
And their expression.
Right.
The source says this has left a mark.
On us today.
Yes.
How so?
It contributes to those identity crises we see.
Like what?
The fight for women's rights. And the recognition of marginalized groups.
Right.
These aren't just individual struggles.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah, they're echoes of power imbalances.
And societal structures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We haven't fully evolved our understanding of how to deal with these masculine and feminine dynamics.
In a healthy way.
Yeah, in a balanced way.
Right.
It's like this unconscious gender war is still going on.
That's a good way to put it.
We need what the source calls inner warrior.
New warriors.
Yeah, to bridge the gaps in our awareness.
And heal those wounds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now let's look at the individual experience.
Right.
The source talks about the challenges for men and women.
Within this context.
Yes.
Okay.
For men, societal upbringing often emphasizes
what?
An outward orientation.
Like achievements.
Yes, career, external validation.
Okay.
But that can come at the expense of inner exploration.
And feelings.
Right.
Yeah.
Expressing those feminine qualities.
Yeah.
It can be stigmatized.
Unfortunately.
So they suppress their feelings.
Makes sense.
And in extreme cases, that suppression can turn into
what?
Hostility towards women.
Oh, wow.
Because women become this unconscious container.
For their unacknowledged feminine side.
Exactly. And then they project their wounds onto their children.
Continuing the cycle.
Yes.
That's sad.
It is.
Yeah.
But the source says the father's wound and the mother wound,
they're similar.
They come from the same place.
What place?
Suppressing the feeling side of ourselves.
Interesting.
Both men and women have both sides.
Feeling and thinking.
Yes.
It's not about gender.
Right. It's societal pressure.
That makes us imbalanced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for women, the challenge is often suppressing their authentic, extroverted expression.
What does that mean?
It's the ability to be assertive.
In the world.
Yes, to show up fully.
Okay.
With a strong voice.
And agency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But historically, that's been met with disapproval.
For men.
And sometimes from other women.
Who've internalized those structures.
Exactly.
It's like we police each other sometimes.
Yeah.
That's tough.
The source says the dominant masculine archetype. hasn't always been ready to embrace those expressions from women.
Those assertive expressions.
Yes. It's like these unconscious biases are everywhere.
Impacting all of us.
Yeah.
In different ways.
The source also talks about relationships.
Okay.
It says many relationships start from an unequal place.
What does that mean?
It's about how we project our masculine and feminine sides
onto our partners.
Yes. And we're attracted to them based on those projections.
That makes sense.
So the source says a primary task for us is to mature and integrate those inner aspects.
The masculine and feminine.
Yes.
Within ourselves.
Yes, to bring them into balance.
Okay, I like that.
So how do we do that?
Yeah. How do we become more balanced?
The source says we have to grow up a witness.
A witness. Again.
Yeah, but this time it's about seeing beyond our biases.
Oh. Okay.
What are some practical things we can do?
Yeah, what can we do?
First, we have to recognize that we have wounds.
We all do.
Yeah.
From our past.
And those wounds create biases.
Right.
But those aren't flaws to get rid of.
They're not.
No, they're sources of wisdom.
Oh, interesting.
They can help us understand ourselves and the world. We need to bridge the gaps in our awareness.
To become more reflective.
Yes, exactly. Okay. How do we do that?
Self-inquiry can help. Mindfulness meditation.
Right.
Creative outlets.
Yeah.
Those can all help us nurture that inner witness.
I like that.
The source gives some specific questions to ask ourselves.
Oh, cool. What are they?
They're based on the Erica Vickman example.
Okay.
But they apply more broadly.
To help us examine our projections.
Yes, and our beliefs about masculine and feminine.
All right. Give me an example.
Okay, here's one.
Yeah.
What is the part of me that wants Erica to represent something pure and rebellious?
Interesting.
Who is that part within me? And what positive purpose does that idea serve?
Right.
But also, how could that idea be limiting or harmful?
Oh, that's a good point. It makes us question our idealizations of others.
Yeah.
And whether those expectations are helpful.
Right.
Okay, here's another one.
Okay.
Can I identify the masculine energy within me that wants to protect or control the image I or we as a society hold of the feminine?
Wow, that's a mouthful.
It is, but it's powerful.
It is.
What are the benefits and drawbacks of that impulse?
To protect or control.
Yes. These questions help us move beyond judgment.
To understand what's underneath.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our needs and fears.
That's so important.
And the source talks about shifting perspective and healing the shadows within ourselves.
Interesting.
How do those fit in?
With integration.
Yes.
Well, shifting perspective means holding multiple truths.
Okay.
Different viewpoints at the same time. Considering perspectives that aren't our own.
Right.
Including those parts of ourselves that we reject.
Our shadow.
Exactly.
And integrating our shadow allows us to think more systemically.
In a more complex way.
Yes.
Yeah.
That helps us evolve.
Psychologically and spiritually. We move beyond black and white thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the source says masculine and feminine aren't just genders.
Okay.
They're archetypes.
Inner archetypes.
Yes.
In all of us.
Regardless of gender identity.
Right.
So how does that help us heal and grow?
Well, when we understand that, we can move beyond those rigid gender roles. And we can start to heal from the trauma of patriarchy.
By integrating both sides within ourselves.
Exactly.
That's powerful.
It is.
So back to Erica Vickman.
Okay.
What's the main takeaway from all this?
The source says her expression. Whether we like it or not, it's a trigger.
For what?
It awakens something in us.
Oh, wow.
The question is, what is this reaction showing me?
About ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how am I part of the field that creates this tension?
That's a good one.
It's about recognizing that we're participating.
In the dynamic.
Yeah.
Our reactions are a mirror.
Reflecting our inner world.
Exactly.
That's a great way to put it.
So today we've explored how transformation.
Yeah.
It often involves understanding those hidden parts of ourselves.
Right.
The parts connected to our early experiences and our projections about masculine and feminine. It's about looking deeper.
Beyond the surface.
Yes.
To those deeper currents.
That shape our thoughts and feelings.
And our relationships.
Exactly.
So as you go about your day,
yeah,
think about those unseen influences.
On your reaction.
To the world around you.
Okay.
Ask yourself how being aware of them might change how you see things.
Yourself and others?
Yeah.
That's a good practice.
Maybe even challenge some of your perceptions.
About yourself.
And the world.
That can be liberating.
It can.
To look into that womb of transformation.
It can lead to wholeness.
And freedom.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us today.
It's been a pleasure.